Hello everyone. Welcome to the online seminar series of Karadeniz Technical University's English Language and Literature Department. This is our fifth in general and first in the new year presentation by Associate Professor Dr. Sibel TATAR from Boğaziçi University. Dr. Tatar has been teaching at the Department of Foreign Language Education at Boğaziçi University since 2003. And tonight, her presentation will be about assessing young learners. And without further ado, I'd like to give the stage to our head of department and moderator, Professor Dr. Mustafa Naci Kayaoğlu. Naci Hocam, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for your very brief introduction. Sibel Hocam, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to agree to be with us. So I'm very pleased to welcome you and for this very special event. I also extend my warm welcome to all my colleagues, friends, and graduates, and those who follow us. And Associate Professor Dr. Sibel TATAR, as the speaker said, and has been teaching at the Department of Foreign Language Education since 2003. And Sibel Hocam received her PhD in language education from the University of Indiana in Bloomington. And her research interests include foreign language teaching methodology, language teacher education, and language teacher cognition and non-native speaking professionals in TESOL. And she holds various administrative positions. And also she has been involved in various projects in and outside in Turkey. In addition to many credentials Dr. Tatar possesses, and I can say she's one of the very rare people in our field in ELT who dealt with the issue of native and non-native professionals in our field. So I find her publication very valuable and very inspiring. So those who are interested in ELT employment of non-native or native speakers in private and state schools and state universities and so on. So I strongly recommend that, and Sibel Hocam's publications are the first ones to touch and to read. And just a few announcements, and you can, if you have some questions, and please, let's wait till our speaker concludes her presentation. So you're welcome to write any questions. So my friends will also send the questions to me, and we'll send the questions to our speaker. And Hocam, it's up to you. You can sometimes go between Turkish and English as you like. So because we know for sure that we have some speakers we have some guests from other disciplines who may want to ask some question in Turkish, but they're all welcome to ask a question in Turkish, in English, in a language and you like. Hocam tekrar çok teşekkür ediyorum. I'm more than pleased to welcome you and to see you. Yes, Hocam, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the nice introduction, Naci Hocam. Thank you very much. And I'd like to say good evening to everyone. Welcome to my presentation. Let me first share my screen before we continue. Okay. Thank you all for joining us today. So I'm guessing some of you are interested in how to assess young learners, and some of you are already teaching young learners. So this presentation, I hope, will be relevant to your interests. Yeah, as Naci Hocam said, I graduated from Hacettepe University, Department of Translation and Interpretation in Ankara. So I'm from Ankara, actually. I lived in Ankara for many years before I went to the States for my PhD. And then after coming back from Indiana, I started teaching at Boğaziçi University, and I've been with Boğaziçi University since then, since 2003. Well, in this presentation, I structured the presentation in like maybe 4 different parts. In the first part, I'm going to talk about very shortly about what assessment means, what evaluation means, and what's the difference between them, assessment, testing, and evaluation. And then I'll talk about the different characteristics of young learners. I mean, who is a young learner? What are their characteristics cognitively, socio-emotionally, and physically? And what do these different characteristics mean in terms of preparing assessments for young learners? And then in the next part, I'll continue talking about the 4 skills, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and I'll be showing some examples to you. And finally, I might, if we have time left, I'll be showing some more examples from the TOEFL tests and so on. Okay. So there are 3 concepts that are sometimes used interchangeably in this area. They're evaluation, assessment, and testing. Although they're used interchangeably, they are not the same thing. First of all, I'd like to clarify that very quickly. Evaluation is the process of making a value judgment about the worth of a student's product or performance. So evaluations are not measurement, and they are only decisions that we make about what course of action to follow. For example, when you have students' writing, you may judge a student's writing exceptionally good, and this evaluation may lead you to encourage the student to enter a national essay competition. So it's not about measuring performance, but it's about making a value judgment. And in language programs, obviously, many things can be evaluated. In addition to student performance, the effectiveness of particular methods and materials, learners' or teachers' satisfaction, the effectiveness of schools, programs, curriculum, all of these different things can be evaluated. But assessment is specifically about student performance. So it's not about like evaluation in that sense. It's about students' performance, and it's the variety of procedures that we use to obtain information about the student's performance. And in order to obtain information about the student's performance, we may use traditional paper and pencil tests, formal, informal observations, extended responses, or we can use alternative methods like authentic tests, oral presentations, portfolios. So here we're trying to answer the question, how well does this individual perform? And tests are only a subtest of the assessments. And when we say a test, we typically think of a set of questions printed on paper, and students take it during a fixed period of time under usually standardized conditions for all students. So, and at the end of a test, we usually assign a numerical value to the performance of the student, and it helps us to understand how well does this individual perform. Here is a little cartoon to show the difference between assessment and evaluation. So as you see in the first example, you're trying to increase the quality, whereas in the evaluation, you're judging the quality. So in the first picture, you're looking at how if this plant, this flower has grown, or how much it has grown. But here, you're making a value judgment. You're not measuring necessarily. You just make a value judgment. It's too short and it doesn't have enough leaves. Okay. And we can say evaluation is the umbrella term that covers both assessment and testing. And tests are only one type of assessment. Not all assessment should be in the form of tests. So there are alternative types of assessment as well. And we'll be talking about different types of assessment in this presentation. So this was a little introduction about the different concepts. Now, when we talk about young learners, it's I think a pretty recent area in Turkey, because English was being introduced as a class only after the 5th grade, in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. When I was growing up, there was no English instruction at the primary school level. And then later, English has been introduced at younger ages. Now it starts at 7th grade, in the 2nd grade. And in many private institutions, it's even before that, it's preschool and, at the preschool stage. And as we all know, it's extremely important in our country that children receive a good education and that they can learn English well. It's very, people are very, careful about that. I mean, everybody wants their kid to speak and learn English well. So therefore, thinking about all of this, the assessment of young learners has become an important issue for English as a foreign language teachers, especially after the introduction of English at grade 2. Here's a question: who are young learners? Can anyone define who young learners are? When we say young learners, what age group comes to mind? What do you think? Okay.
Jump first stage, yeah. Primary school.
Primary school, yes. Yeah, that's one group in the young learners group. Okay, and I think there's some answers in the chat. Ages 5 to 12, from birth to high school, students before the teenagers, primary school students, and those in kindergarten. And I think actually all of these are right, because there are different definitions of young learners in different resources. The period from birth, starting with birth to 8 years, is called early childhood, is defined as early childhood. And young learners actually belong to this group from age 5 to 17. And this 5 to 17 is obviously a very broad range. So it's roughly divided into 3 groups: ages from 5 to 8, 9 to 12, and 13 and above. And as you might know, there are huge differences between these 3 age groups. So the characteristics of of a 5-year-old age child and a teenager is in the TESOL organization describes young learners between ages 4 and 9. But in general, like according to the United Nations Convention, anyone who hasn't reached their 18th birthday is considered a child. So there are different definitions, but for the purposes of this presentation, we'll be focusing more on the first 2 groups, from ages 5 to 6 and 8 to 9, and from 8 to 9 to 12 and 13. And we'll be focusing less on the teenagers. But I think this corresponds to what you have actually written in the chat. So in general, young learners are going through 4 different stages, which are, which have different characteristics. The first stage is called the sensory motor stage. Behavior is primarily motor or physical, and the child doesn't think conceptually. At the pre-operational stage, which is from age 2 to 7, there's a rapid language and conceptual development. The children are very egocentric. They can't see things from another's perspective. There's little logical thinking and ability to reason. I have a 5-year-old son, and I can see this very clearly from his, actions. Sometimes when I'm busy doing something, he comes and asks for something, and I say, don't you know that I'm busy here? I can't answer you right now. I can't give you that thing right now. But he just, he just doesn't have that conception yet, so he doesn't understand. So I think at this stage, the conceptual development is really not, mature yet, and they're very egocentric. The concrete operation stage comes later, starting at the age of 7 until 11. At this stage, children become more social and less egocentric, and they can use more reasoning, and they can apply logical thought to concrete problems. The reason I'm talking about this is because it has direct relationship to how we design our assessment. Starting from age 11 and older, like teenagers, They are at the formal operation stage. There is logical use of symbols, so they can think in abstract terms, and they can use inductive and deductive reasoning. And when you look at these different stages, there is a really, each stage is really different from each other. So what does cognitively, what kind of characteristics do young learners have? Does anyone teach young learners here in this group? How many of you teach young learners right now? Anyone? Okay. You? Okay. So can you say a couple of words about the way, about their behavior in class, about their attention span, or do you have any examples in the sense that they're different from adults? Yeah, they're impatient, they're naughty, they can't sit still, they're always very energetic. Yes, they have a very short attention span. Yeah, and they're focused on games, and they are very talkative. Yeah, and images and creative. Okay, thank you. They always have something to say. Yeah, so their attention span is really short, only 10 to 15 minutes, and they can be really distracted by other students very easily. But their attention span is increasing after age 9. From age 5 to 7, they learn from direct experience. So they need to touch and see things to be able to work with them. Their concept of time is still developing, and they don't really, they can't really know, they can differentiate between the past and, so they're usually in the present. It's really hard for them to go back and think in the past. Before age 8, they cannot talk about language, so they don't have any knowledge of the meta language. They don't know grammar, discourse, so you can't teach them language through those tools that adults are used to using. And at 11 to 13 years of age, they develop the ability to manipulate their thoughts, but still they need hands-on experience. By age 12, their understanding, conception of time has developed, and they can talk about the future and past. I think this next point is really interesting. They can't see the whole in a complex task. So you have to divide up, break down things into little parts. They can't see the connection between different parts in the whole. So only after age 9, they develop that ability. So only after age 9, maybe they can see the wholeness across the parts if they're connected within the narrative. And they have very limited ability to get the gist of something. So I think another key point to consider is the assessment tasks should never extend beyond the children's experience of the world, because their experience of the world is limited to their own personal experiences, especially until the age 9, until age 8, 9, and only after 9 it goes beyond everyday situations. So most of the things you do in the classroom or including your tests should be related to their very specific personal experiences. They can't analyze pictures or ideas. They can't describe language rules. And if you're doing any kind of assessment, this should be taking place in a very quiet, calm setting in which they cannot be distracted. So let's look at these young learners from the social emotional growth perspective. Between age 5 to until 9, they're extremely dependent on adults, and they become really anxious when they're separated from familiar people and places. So in that sense, they're like older people. They don't like change. They resist to changes, and they always want to do familiar things in the familiar order. After age 8 and 9, they start looking for peer and group support. And after that age, it becomes more important for them to be approved by their peers and by their group rather than the adults. They're still developing the ability to cooperate, share, take turns. And between 7 to 12 ages, they usually prefer to play in the same sex group. around age 11, they're highly conscious about their physical appearance. During the puberty, getting close to puberty, they become really anxious about and conscious about their physical appearance. Okay, so what does this mean in terms of assessment? We should make the environment very familiar, and we should make it as less obvious as possible to the learners that they are being assessed, because it really makes them anxious that when they know they're being assessed. They seek adult and peer approval and attention. So using a puppet or stuffed animal or using rewards such as stickers may be a good idea. The texts that you use in assessment should always involve familiar content like family, school, or familiar genres like children's stories, folk tales, all kinds of stories. And they love feedback. They want to hear that they are doing good. It helps maintain attention and their confidence. So lastly, what kind of a physical growth do they go through? Their gross and fine motor skills are still developing. So if you are teaching like first graders, they might still have difficulty holding the pencil or using the scissors or other tools. They might be having difficulty writing, but they love climbing, racing, running, jumping. So they like physical activity, and they tire more easily from sitting than moving. So they need to be moving all the time. So what does this mean in terms of assessment? The ability to sit still and their hand-eye coordination should be taken into account when you're preparing assessment tasks. And tasks should always involve physical activity, like either they can stand up and move, they can point, circle, or color a picture. So there has to be some kind of physical activity. Okay. So let me ask you a very quick question. What do you think the language development of young learners like? I mean, how do you think they learn a foreign language? What are some of the things that they can or cannot do at certain stages? Anyone wants to share? In what ways are they different from adults about learning the language? Yeah, they learn through games. Unlike adults. They're more unconscious. Their learning is more unconscious. Yeah, they love plays and games. Yeah, younger ages should be in action and game-based. Exactly. So action, games, movement, physical movement is essential when you're designing, when you're teaching and also assessing young learners. Okay, thank you. So in this part, I actually summarized their language development, these three different age groups. So what they can and cannot do at these ages. For example, in ages from 5 to 8, they're still learning about the world around them. They're learning to speak, write, and they're still getting their grammar right. And their vocabulary is limited to only concrete concepts, so they can't talk about abstract stuff. And their literacy skills are just emerging in the L1. I think that's an important, that's essential in designing assessment tasks, because they're learning how to read and write in their native language, and they're trying to learn English at the same time. So literacy and first and second language learning go hand in hand. So that's very different from how an adult learns, because when an adult starts learning a foreign language, the literacy skills are full, spelling, punctuation, writing, everything is there. But for children, it's not like that. So they're learning them at the same time. They're absorbing lots of new words, even when they don't know how to put them into sentences. And they're a bit like parrots. So they repeat everything you say. So it's a good starting point with the words that they already know. And for example, they can show how much they know through speaking, or even just by pointing at a picture. Okay. Maybe this was something some of you use, so they can shout out the word as you slowly show a picture. It can be really fun. They don't even know they're being tested. That's an ideal way to make them comfortable. And as I said earlier, their ability to think back and sequence the events from the past is very limited. So they might not know what yesterday means, what last week, last month, last year means. So they may have difficulty understanding the past tense. So if we include like in our assessment, like some use of past tense, they might not be able to answer, not because they don't know the form, but they don't really understand what past is. And I think about writing, they can only write individual words. Maybe it's not a good idea to test writing skills with this age group because it's just too early. Did anyone try assessing writing skills with 5 to 8-year-olds here? Did anyone try that before? Or do you agree with the language development stages that I presented here? Yeah, as attitudes are built in these ages, affective factors are significant if they're taught within their pronunciation. Yeah, if they're taught with a native or near native teacher, their pronunciation will be much better because they're still learning. And if they develop a positive attitude towards learning languages, learning English, then they'll become better learners. I totally agree. The second group, age 9 to 12, obviously they're different from the 5 to 8 age group. Their vocabulary is growing quickly, and they can maybe understand and explain more complicated thoughts, and they can think more in abstract terms. Their word knowledge is growing, so their word knowledge is not limited to their family and friends and school anymore. They have more experience about the world now. Their literacy skills are still very quickly improving, but they still like to have fun and play games. So we should keep our tasks fun and not too long. At this stage, friends are becoming important, so it's a good idea to put them in pairs or groups in speaking activities. So rather than talking with a teacher, they feel more comfortable talking with a friend. You can do like the very easy, short role plays like going shopping, writing a shopping list, and then asking for things in a shop, because shopping is something that's in their background knowledge. That's something they know. And you can copy the kind of games that children play every day. So you can copy the games and use them as tasks in your tests. It will be really fun, and they will be motivated to do the test. Teenagers is a different story. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So they're getting really interested in the world around them. They're interested in different countries, new ideas, new ways of life. Again, their friends are very important. They don't have much fun talking to adults. So again, putting them in groups or pairs is a good idea rather than one-to-one with adults. There may be unknown words, confusing words. So you can't simply include the same vocabulary that you would use for adults in children at this age, still, because there's still unknown and confusing words for them, although they have a good mastery in language. Yes, they can use a higher level of English, but still better if the test includes the kind of things that they do at school. And obviously, they don't have as much life experience as adults, so they can struggle to keep talking. So they might need more adult help. Okay, so we made a discussion of the different characteristics of young learners, and we looked at them in 3 different groups, from age to 5 to 7, and then 9 to 12, and 12, 13 and above. So if you wanted to make some general recommendations as to how to prepare assessment tasks for young children, what would those be? Can you write or say, like, or just one recommendation? What would be a recommendation? Yeah, somebody said, Nalan Devir said, multiple choice questions are asked to the second graders. They choose the correct spelling and correct syntax for given situations. Okay. Prepare a rubric, okay, before you assess. Use lots of pictures. I think that's a great recommendation, because even when a picture is not essential in your assessment, pictures should be included. Yeah, include some kinesthetic and game-based activities. Use game-like tasks. Yes, exactly. Okay. So, more real than fictional content. Yes. So, first of all, in assessment, you shouldn't make the students scared of assessments, because we want them to develop positive attitudes. We don't want them to be scared by tests. So, just do what you do in the classroom, and what you do in your test should be consistent with each other. So don't include new stuff in your tests if you have never done that. If you are giving feedback from the test, then it should be immediate and positive. So don't only indicate their mistakes or weaknesses, but also tell them what they have done well, and encourage self-assessment for their development. And some, Nur Gökçen said portfolios for secondary school students, especially for 7th and 8th graders. Portfolios, alternative assessment. Again, it's especially early stages of learning, they have a greater ability to understand and use formulaic speech. So when you go to the class, you can create like early morning whole class routines. They check on the date, they check on the day, the weather, they can play simple games. But when they get more advanced, you can use more rule-based assessment, like telling the others what they did over the weekend. They can describe a shared event or write a report about an animal. So you can get more structured as they get more advanced. Okay, so again, remember that they have very short attention span. Remember that they enjoy stories and plays. They respond well to pictures. Obviously, include pictures in your assessment. And I think it's something that needs to be taken into account. And I think this is a very important point. Their first language and cognitive abilities are still developing. So you should always include tasks that they can do comfortably in their own language. So if you think that a task that you prepared cannot be completed in their native language, then it means they can't complete it in their second language, in English. So they should be able to handle the tasks comfortably in their own language. Just keep that in mind. Include tasks that involve social interaction between 2 or more children, because they love being in interaction with each other. And try to integrate more than one skill. So try to integrate the skills like reading and writing together, listening and writing together, or speaking and listening together. One more thing before we talk about the 4 skills. How do we choose the topics that students will be interested in for our assessment? Where do we look at? What are the topics? Well, in the Penny McKay book, this I got from the Penny McKay book. She defines 4 different spheres. The first sphere is the most narrow sphere. It's what learners can hear, see, and touch directly. And this would be your classroom. So the objects in the classroom, what happens in the classroom, is your first sphere that you can make use of when you're preparing assessment tasks. In the second sphere, it's what learners know from firsthand from their own experience. So it will be their daily life, what they have seen or heard, their selves, their family and friends, home, school, free time, holidays, pets. So all of these topics can be included. In the third sphere, obviously, after a certain age, not all of them can do it, they can work on things that they have not experienced directly, but they can still call to mind with imagination, pictures, drama, and charts. And the outer sphere is what you can bring into learners' minds through spoken, written, printed word, like social issues, environmental issues, jobs, careers, comparisons of countries, relationship with others, or current events. So as you see, these spheres are radically different from each other. So as the students get older, as the young learners get older and they get more advanced in the language and they get more advanced cognitively and socio-emotionally, you can move on to the outer spheres from the first sphere. Okay. So when we are assessing the 4 skills, what are some of the techniques you use to assess the young learners you teach? And what do you think are the challenges in preparing assessment tasks in the skills, reading, writing, listening, and speaking? Anyone wants to share? In the chat box or... Okay. What's most challenging about assessing young learners? What do you think? Yeah, time constraints. Speaking is the most challenging because you don't have time to focus on speaking activities. Okay, the curriculum, yeah, the curriculum that's mandated. So you have to cover certain topics and that might force you to cover certain skills and, not cover the others. So which skill do you think is the most ignored in at this level? Speaking, writing, speaking. Yeah, usually speaking is the one, and writing. So we can say reading and listening to a certain extent, but yeah, many of you think writing, yeah, writing is the mostly ignored skill. Okay, thank you. In the assessment of 4 skills, I summarized from the Murray and Christensen book. I think this reflects how children learn their first language as well, because you will see the recommendations are based on how the learners learn their first language. So if you are, if we're ordering the skills, then listening should come first, and then speaking, and then reading, and then writing, because up to until they come to school, children deal with spoken language first. They first listen and then speak. They're expert listeners, and then they start reading and writing when they come to school. So we should be following that order: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And all activities should be orally based on listening and speaking skills for very young learners, for beginning learners. I think it's very true. And I think this third point is interesting. They can be asked to write words that they can read. So if there are words that they are not familiar in reading, they may not be able to write them. So they should first be able to read them, and then they can write them. They should only read words that they can talk about. So they should be familiar with the words that they read from spoken language, that they have experience with. And they should only be asked to talk about words and concepts they have listened to and can recognize in spoken language. So this all takes us back to listening. So we should start out with the things that they have already listened to and that they can talk about. So in reading and writing, you can only base your materials on the things that they listen to and that they can talk about. Written activities should be used seldom until they master the mechanics of writing. And TPR activities are extremely ideal because they help students develop the balance and spatial awareness. Anyone using TPR activities with their students? TPR, total physical response. Yes. Okay. So what kind of things do you do? Do you give them like instructions and then they stand up and stand down, or what kind of things do you do? Yes, definitely TPR activities help them learn more about classroom language. Yeah, you can use songs and tell them to stand up and sit down to teach them some basic commands. Yeah, singing songs using body actions. Yeah, using imperatives, games, imitation. Yeah, first saying and showing, and then giving the instruction, role playing. Okay, thank you. Yeah, a video recording. Okay, that's interesting. All right. So let's take a look at what kind of things, what kind of possibilities we have in assessing speaking. And I'm very well aware that speaking is mostly ignored in many schools because of the reasons that you just stated. But I think there are still things that we can do. What can young learners can and cannot do? First, they have difficulty adjusting their register. So they don't know politeness. They don't know the difference between formal, informal. So they can sound impolite because they don't know how to arrange their register yet. They use language that's known and often say the same thing many times. Simple repetition, repeating the same thing in the same way many times. Repetition is good. And they can make mistakes with basic sentence structures, which are not typical of native English speakers. They can still make a lot of basic sentence structure mistakes, and they may have difficulty sequencing their thoughts. Here I'm going to show you some examples from some of the books that I use. So here is the test takers see these pictures, and then they hear, okay, what is this? And they're supposed to say sheep and ship, wine and wine. So it's this is to show them the difference between. So these basic activities are mostly about pronunciation. So just the ability to produce the sounds correctly. Here is another one. So they look at these pictures and they use the comparative form to compare these objects. So they can say sentences like, the apples, the grapes are more expensive than the apples. The lady is taller than the man. So this is not real speaking. I know it reminds us very much of grammar exercises, but at this age level, this is actually something you can do. Yeah, you can use a picture where there are different things are happening. So you can just say, where are these people going for vacation? What will they do in Hawaii? Why are they dressed this way? What is she going to do there? What is he going to do there? Okay. And here is another picture that you can actually talk basically about everything in this picture. You can talk about the verbs, nouns, present tense, past tense, names, colors, names of the furniture and people. So what are these? What is this? Is there a chair? Are these clocks? So you can do several different things with such a picture. Okay. And this is a map, and students are supposed to give directions. So give me the directions to the bank. Give me the directions to Macy's. How do I get to the post office? Maybe this is not for 5-8-year-olds, but maybe teenagers. Okay. Now I'd like to show you some videos of speaking tests, real speaking tests that I found on the internet to demonstrate you, to demonstrate, what a speaking test looks like. And as you watch the video, I want you to think about the points that we discussed. Yani how do you think you know, some of the guidelines that we discussed are being followed in the assessment of this child. You know, is this a good assessment task or not? Oh, I hope it works then. Okay. Can you see it and hear it? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. We're not going to watch all of it, but I'll just show you parts. So this is a A2 flyer speaking test. Okay. Here we go.
Sibel hocam ses gelmiyor. Her şey ses var mı şu anda?
Ah, gelmiyor mu?
Ses
Aa, özür
gelmiyor.
dilerim. Bir daha deneyeyim. Sonuna kadar açayım, bir dakika.
Hocam mikrofon ayarınızdan same as system seçeneğini
Geliyor mu?
seçerseniz.
Şu anda başladı hocam, tamam.
Geldi mi? Kısık kalmış bilgisayarın sesi, pardon.
My name is Chris. What's your name?
My name is Michaela.
What's your surname?
It's Negruza.
How old are you, Michaela?
I'm 12.
So they started out with very basic questions. What's your name? How old are you? And that kind of stuff. And then he shows her a picture and he asks some questions related to the picture.
3, okay? I'm going to say something about my picture. You tell me how your picture is different. In my picture, it's night.
In my picture, it's day.
Good. In my picture, the man's got a newspaper in his pocket.
In my picture, the man's got a brush in his pocket.
Good. In my... Harry and Katie go to the same school. I don't know anything about Harry's favorite teacher, but you do. So I'm going to ask you some questions. What's Harry's favorite teacher called?
She's called Mrs. Lake.
Is she young or old, Michaela?
She's old.
Why does Harry like her?
Because
These pictures tell a story. It's called David and His Sisters Help an Old Woman. Just look at the pictures first. David and his sisters are playing in the snow with their sledges. It's lunchtime and they're hungry. Now you tell the story.
they saw a woman who fell on the ice, and they went to help her.
Now, let's talk about your town, Michaela. Where do you live?
So up to now, they had structured tasks like picture differences, and then in the second one again, like a jigsaw kind of activity, and then telling a story based on a sequence of pictures. And in the last stage, it's like free speaking, so he asks her some questions. personal questions.
I live in Rovigo.
How do you go to school?
I go to school by bike.
Where can you do sports in Rovigo?
I can do sports in Rovigo in match places.
Okay. Can you play tennis in the park?
Probably.
Good. Which places do you like going to? In
In Rovigo,
the big shop?
no, it isn't very big.
When do you go there?
I go there every Sunday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think you got the idea. What kind of things do you think the test developers, specifically paid attention to here in creating the speaking assessment? What kind of things did they take into consideration, specifically about young learners? Okay, let me check the chat box. Okay. So did they make use, repeating the same sentence structure and using lots of pictures? Thank you for the response. Yeah, visual stimulation. So as we mentioned, you have to use pictures all the time. And it's very clear, right? The speaker is very clear and, helpful and, an approachable person. There's visual stimulation. And did you notice the kind of topics that they cover? So it's a family, most of concrete stuff, no abstraction, and things that the learner can actually talk about from first-hand experience. So very limited to their, basic things from life, definitely. Okay, well, actually, there are more examples, but maybe I can save them at the end of the presentation because there are different videos for different levels. This was A2 level. There was pre-A1. There is pre-A1 level 2. Yeah, there's a comfortable atmosphere to decrease the stress and fear of making mistakes. But still, we can see the learner is under stress. From the way she looks, she's really stressed out, but there's really nothing you can do about that. Because she's dealing with an adult, I think that's why she feels a bit tense. Okay, thank you. So this was a speaking test sample. Okay, do you have any questions so far about the assessments or anything that you want to, comment or anything like that? Okay. Okay, if you can lower the video quality a little. Okay. Yeah, there's an idea doing it in groups would have been better. I think so too. If you paired up the students and they talked about the pictures, that might give. In addition to this, you can also include that because in that, maybe in little groups, in small groups, they would feel more comfortable, definitely. Okay. So let's talk about assessing listening skills. What are some of the difficulties about assessing listening skills? They have difficulty in consistently following a set of instructions. So you can't really make them listen to something that's very long, that has different parts to it, because they have difficulty consistently following. They have difficulty attending, short attention span, and they have difficulty in predicting what's about to be said. So their mind doesn't work like the adults, in the sense that when they hear something, when they hear a title or a word, they can't predict what is to come because they don't have that experience yet, that background yet. They can't differentiate among different genres, and they can't understand the words such as although, however, except, unless. Their understanding vocabulary in isolation or in short texts before up to age 8 and 9. And after age 8 and 9, they can identify the gist or they can inference the familiar discourses. Here is another example from a test. So here you see a picture. There are different names at the top and at the bottom of the picture. They're supposed to hear these short dialogues and identify the person. And they should be drawing a line from the picture to the name of the person. So the first one is, who is that? The girl with the red tennis racket? That's Grace. I like her long hair. Yes, I like Grace's hair too. So this is Grace, right? In the red tennis, with the red tennis racket. Can you see Alice? Sorry, Alice. Yes, she's the girl with the tablet. Oh, the girl on the chair? Yes, she's playing a game on it. So the one who is playing a game with the tablet, that's Alice. So you're supposed to draw a line from here to Alice. So it continues like that. So what do you think about this picture? Do you think it's a good picture for young learners, and why? Yeah, it's colorful, it's fun and easy, it's lively. Yeah, there's lots of motion in it. And it's definitely within their world knowledge, right? I mean, they are very familiar to such a scene. Yeah, there's a bike and there's children playing a racket and flying a kite. So lots of color and children of the same age. And one of them is feeding the birds. So it's something that that they can make sense. And there's lots of activities, so there are different things that you can design based on this picture. So this is one way of assessing assessing listening. Here is another task. So here again, they listen to, they hear short dialogues, and they're supposed to choose the picture that describes this dialogue. First one is done for them. Where's Lucy? She isn't in the living room. I know, she's in the kitchen with Mom. Oh, okay, thanks. Where are you going, Mark? I want my hat. It's in my bedroom. So where is Lucy now? She's in the kitchen with Mom, right? So you're supposed to choose A. So you hear the conversation and you're supposed to choose the picture. Who is that talking to Mom? He's calling Grandpa about dinner. Can Alex, my friend from school, have dinner with us? Not today. Okay, so it should be B, right? Daddy talking to someone on the phone. Okay. Yeah, this is another one. And here there's drawing, not drawing, there is a painting. So the coloring. They listen and color. So there's a lot of fruit in this picture. Is it a shop? Yes, it is. Can you see the pineapple on the clock? The pineapple on the clock. Oh, yes. Can I color it yellow, please? Yes, you can. So you color the pineapple yellow. And it continues like that. Now find the pineapple under the lemons. Under the lemons, yes, color the pineapple purple. The pineapple under the lemons is here. So you color that purple. Okay, so in what ways do you think this is relevant to young learners? Yeah, and I think I totally agree with the point made by Saye. The big advantage of these questions is that it doesn't require the writing and reading skills. Well, yeah, I was going to add that actually. In assessing young learners, that should be a rule. When you're assessing listening, there should be, I mean, you should design it in such a way that it doesn't require a lot of writing or reading or maybe speaking. So you're just focusing on the skill you want to test. So it doesn't, there's not much writing involved. So that's a good thing. The learners are giving non-verbal, non-written responses. They either draw or they either put a tick. So there's a lot of pictures for that purpose. Yeah, they hate writing and they like coloring. Thank you. Okay. Here is another one, maybe a bit, you know, older learners. Here is a paragraph, I mean, that they hear, and they're supposed to choose the correct picture that describes the paragraph. There's a bird feeder, and there are two birds and a squirrel fighting for the seeds in the bird feeder. So they're supposed to choose the picture that describes, again, this is a pictorial response, right? Not a written response. Okay, here's another one. They hear a short paragraph about Lucy's schedule, and they're supposed to write down what she does at certain times of the day. Obviously, this is not easy to follow. Maybe you might have to read. They might have to hear it twice or three times because it's full of information. But this is again the amount of writing is minimized here in this exercise, so it's easier for them to maybe answer. Okay. So in assessing reading. In assessing reading, I think this is reading is the skill that we have the most resources that we can use. In assessing reading, we should keep in mind that they can read slowly. They have very poor comprehension if the topic is unfamiliar, and they have trouble paraphrasing or isolating the main idea. They have trouble what will come next, predicting what will come next in the narrative. They can't differentiate among the genres because they're only familiar with certain genres, like from the children's literature. They have difficulty reading for meaning, and they rarely self-correct. So obviously you have to know the characteristics of your learners, their interests, their age, cognitive maturity, language proficiency, reading ability. The authentic materials is very good for children. Food packages, greeting cards, advertising material, magazines, internet games, and they love, you know, they love the familiar concepts that you can include in your reading text are colors, pets, weather, or self. And obviously children's literature, children's stories, yani masallar, destanlar, bilmeceler, tekerlemeler, you can use all of them. Okay, read and do tasks. So they read and they either draw or build or follow instructions. They can read and retell. They can read and answer some questions. They can read and match pictures, and they can read and complete charts. So here are some examples. So they're supposed to read the sentence, and they put a tick if the sentence and picture are matching, and or put a cross if they're not matching. This is a bus, correct, check. These are snakes, incorrect, put a cross, because these are crocodiles. This is a mat, no. This is an ear, yes. These are coconuts. This is a sofa. These are helicopters. So the amount that they can read is very limited because their attention span is limited anyway. So it's not a long text as you see, just one sentence prompts. And this is another one. So they look and read, and they only write yes or no. The boys are wearing blue shorts, yes or no. 2 cows are looking at the sun, yes or no. The children are fishing in the sea, yes or no. So I think what's good about this activity is the amount of writing is minimized again. It's only yes or no. So what do you think about these reading exercises? I mean, do you think they're relevant for young children? Would they be interested in answering these? Yeah, an earlier comment was the pictures were understandable and related to students' daily lives, and I totally agreed. Here's another one. I think this is an interesting example. I'm really curious what you would think about that. So here are scrambled words. There's a picture of the word, and here are the letters of the words, and you're supposed to find the word and write it here. Oops. I think something happened. Okay. I was still talking. How did we come here? Sorry, I was talking about reading, and I don't know where that came from. Okay. I'm so sorry. Just a second. Just a second. Somehow the reading and writing examples were... No, pardon arkadaşlar, bir reading ve writing birbirine girmiş gibi olmuş. Tuhaf bir şey olmuş burada. Anlamadım nasıl olduğunu. Anyway, I'll continue with more reading examples. Okay. So here the students are supposed to read these words and point to what they read. So they read cat and they point to the cat. They read this sentence. The man is reading a book and they point to the man reading the book. So it's a simple way of checking, assessing reading. Again, they can you can do true, false. The pencils are under the table. The cat is on the table. The picture is over the couch. True or false by looking at the picture. This is an interesting vocabulary example. So they are reading these definitions and they're supposed to write down, you know, label the pictures with the correct number. So what's this wire supports extending from the hub of a wheel to its perimeter? That's number 1 here, this. So you're supposed to read and show it on the picture. This is a party invitation text. So they read the sentence and choose the correct missing word. They read these sentences and choose the correct missing word. And this is an example I took from the Norwegian diagnostic test of reading for 8 and 9 years. So the students are supposed to drag the word onto the picture, related parts of the bird. So this is, this is a reading item. As you see, there are there's lots of use of pictures. Here's another one. They read these 3 sentences and they choose the picture that's being described. Kim's grandmother is visiting. She has black glasses and short gray hair. She's wearing her favorite color, yellow, today. And you're supposed to choose the picture. Okay. Another one, this is an A2 level item for 10-year-olds. Here's a description. An English map maker is believed to have been the first to start selling the item in the mid-1700s. Generally, the pieces are made of cardboard now, but at first they were made of wood. It contains many small pieces that must be put together to make a complete picture. So it's talking about woods and wood pieces. So it's the picture here. And, you know, for more advanced learners, A2 and B1 level learners, there's a longer paragraph here, and they're supposed to find the correct answer from the multiple choice. Okay, let me show this to you. So compare this text with the previous ones, this one sentence test. So as the level goes higher, the age goes higher, the text can be longer and maybe more complicated according to their you know, level. Thousands of years ago, there were no towns and villages and no farms. People just moved from place to place looking for food. They killed wild animals and collected plants for food. Meat was cooked over fires, which kept everybody safe and warm at the same time, and it goes on like that. So it's like 2-paragraph reading text. So you can increase the reading text as the age increases. Okay. Okay. Yeah, here is another one. Here is a horse, a picture of a horse. And then this is a short paragraph about the horse. So students are supposed to read, and they're supposed to fill in the blanks with the correct word, choosing from among the list here, down here. So this might be really difficult if you don't give the words and the pictures. But when you have the words and pictures, it's just according to their level. So it's a good reading task. This is a higher level. So an animal is being described. This animal has very strong legs and hops from place to place. So it's a kangaroo. So you read this and you choose the word and write it down here. Again, it's the reading that's being assessed and amount of writing is minimized, which is a good thing. And more examples like this. As you see, you know, it's A2 flyers, so the amount of reading is increasing. Okay. Assessing writing. When you look at this picture, how old do you think this learner can be? How old do you think she is? 6 or 7? 7 or 8? 9, 10? Okay. Yeah, this is my niece, my sister's daughter. She's a first grader. She's 6.5 right now. She's a first grader learning how to read and write and learning English at the same time. So this is how she writes. Do you see similar examples in your students? The table is great, I know. Table. Do you have students that who are learning English at the same time with literacy skills in Turkish? Or do you see examples like that in your learners? You know, writing down English words as they hear it. No? Okay. So I am with my niece, I'm witnessing what learners go through when they're learning English and literacy at the same time. This is the stages she goes through. So right now she's writing everything like this as she hears. But I think over time yeah, my daughter writes, I love you, yeah. Yeah, okay. So this is the basic writing. And I'm going to show you some more writing samples here. Okay, that I found in some websites. They're really fun. Okay. Yeah, Nurdan said my second or sometimes third grade learners write like that. Really? Okay. So here is, you know, a child's writing. Okay. I know it's difficult to, you know, understand from the way she writes, but below there's a transcription of this. So she's trying to write. Okay, let me read it for you. Jay and Taylor were at Hawaii. Jay got lost in Hawaii. And then the cat came along, and then the cat and the guinea pig met in Hawaii. And the guinea pig met in Hawaii. And then the guinea pig, it goes on like that. Can you, what are the characteristics of this writing? What do you see here? Writes as she reads it. It's capitals, yeah, all in capitals. Okay. So here are some explanations. It says clear spacing of words throughout indicates solid concept of a word. So I think they are thinking in terms of just single concepts, not as a whole. So they're writing these words like yani birbirinden çok ayrılmış bir şekilde yazıyorlar. And the correct spelling of the sight words like and, got, lost, in, met, met, the. So these, because they're sight words, there's a correct spelling there. Yeah, she creates a setting for her story. Hue is Hawaii. And again, there's a chronological sequence to advance the story. There is, instead of and then, she says in then. So she's trying to use a transitional word. And the same transitional words are used several times. And the story's ending doesn't really fit with the rest of the story. The author appears to have gotten off track without a plan. So it just finishes all of a sudden. So this is what a typical maybe first grader writes like. And I'm going to show you another example. Yeah, a teacher actually prepared this website. She puts the first day of school writing, and then she has the same students writing at the end of the semester, and you can see how they, progressed in terms of writing. So in this one, went to the park, and I play at the swings, and then the slides, and then I play writes with my brother. You can see how she writes. This is the first day of school, and this is end of the second semester. It's like maybe 6 months later. See, it's much more complicated. Çok daha düzgün. They're connecting words. Then next. It's longer, and there's more coherence to it. So as you see, it's part of their natural development and cognitive development. Okay. So depending, what do young learners do in terms of writing? They have poor written language skills. They can write sentences, but they have difficulty writing a paragraph. As you see, they have difficulty connecting their sentences. Both they can, they don't know how to connect them, like in terms of the form and also in terms of the idea. They can't connect the ideas yet. They can only write in an informal style. They don't know the difference between formal, informal. They don't know the written language yet. They use limited vocabulary. They use simple sentence structure, make a lot of grammatical errors, poor spelling. They lack confidence to write at length. They don't have mastery of different genres, and they tend to write the same thing over and over again. Here are some, simple assessment tasks that you can use. The first one is interesting because, the students see this on the paper and they're supposed to copy it as they see it. Do you think this would make a good writing assessment? Because they already have it in front, on the paper, and they're supposed to copy it. Do you think learners make mistakes as they copy them? Even a simple task like copying can be a problem for young learners. It's just because developmentally, and also they sometimes find it easy and they daydream while writing, yes. And yeah, they want to improve their motor skills. And I think for children who are having problems like dyslexia or that kind of thing, maybe this might be very difficult. But even for students who have no difficulty like that, it can be problematic. From the examples you showed, Talib is saying it seems those students are comfortable to make mistakes in writing, so no anxiety they feel, so they just focus on producing something. That's also something to be underlined, I think, as a teacher. Yes, I totally agree with you. That's a very good point, because in our educational system, unfortunately, students are, I think that's cultural. Like they're really afraid of making mistakes. In teaching language, I think the teachers should make it very explicit to the learners that that's part of language learning, and mistakes are possible, and they're a good indication that they're learning. So I think that's something that should be taught to the learners. And yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's a very good point. So it looks like they're not afraid of making mistakes. Okay. So this is another example. So they're supposed to write down the times and dates. A couple of years ago, I taught, there is a Turkish language and culture program at Boğaziçi University. It's like it started like 25 years ago, and I had the chance to teach there for a couple of years. It's over the summer, and many students from the US or some other countries who are interested in learning Turkish come to Istanbul and stay at Boğaziçi University and take courses. And I think this was one of the things that our learners find most difficult: the numbers, the dates and times. I mean, when they were learning how to write in Turkish, and these are adults, and most of them are doctoral students in Middle Eastern studies or politics and religion. So they're very qualified students, but still they had a lot of difficulty writing in Turkish, these names, these dates and numbers. So even for adults, it can be very difficult. Okay, this is another one, picture cute sentence writing. So students are following these pictures and writing. Oh, it's been almost 90 minutes. I'm sorry. Okay, let me skip some of these examples. So you can give pictures, they can sequence pictures and write stories based on the pictures. And I think it's easier for the learners to write when they have a visual material. On Friday, there will be sun. On Monday, there will be rain and things like that. Okay. Yeah, lastly, I was going to show you some more examples from the TOEFL test, but maybe I can just send these to you and you can take a look at them if you're interested, because TOEFL has introduced two new tests, TOEFL Primary and TOEFL Junior, and there are some examples of these tests available online, so you can take a look at them if you're interested. I have more, but I think it might be too loaded for tonight. Let's leave some time for questions. So I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry that was over time. So if you have any questions or comments, I'm happy to talk with you.
It's okay, Sibel Hocam. Thank you very much for very interactive and seminar, and very refreshing seminar. I'm sure most of our young colleagues and prospective, let's say, teachers, and find the seminar quite inspiring and also stimulating.
Thank you.
And you summarize very basic, very fundamental issues around young learners. And also you cover the issues in a very subtle way in an hour, which I cannot do in a whole semester. So I cannot thank you enough for the great job you did for us. So now it's time we can take some questions at the same time. And also the audience, you're all welcome to make any contribution. I know you have your own experience, so you may share your experience with us. Also, you can make some contribution also to us. And also you can ask any question to Sibel Hocam. Please feel free.
Thank you, all of you. I mean, I see the thank yous in the chat box. Thank you so much. Thank you. Evet, sorunuz varsa konuşabiliriz, sohbet edebiliriz. Sağ olun, teşekkürler. We have a young learner here. Gel. Bu da benim oğlum arkadaşlar. Ulaş. O ismi Ulaş.
Ulaş, iyi akşamlar. Merhaba Ulaş, nasılsın?
İyi.
Yani kusura bakma, anneni bugün misafir ettik. Annenden çok güzel bilgiler öğrendik. Senin de vaktini aldık.
Ulaş, sen İngilizce biliyor musun?
Biliyorum.
Neler biliyorsun? Sayıları sayabilir misin?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Resimleri renkleri söyleyebiliyor musun?
Hı hı.
Mesela bu ne renkti?
Red.
Red. Tamam. Ben de biraz kendi çapımda İngilizce öğretmeye çalışıyorum Ulaş'a. O yüzden Young Learner'a çok teşekkür ederim. Güzel sözleriniz için chatte yazılan. Çok sağ olun. Biraz şey yapıyoruz işte. Öğretmeye çalışıyorum. Günlük hayatın içine girerek, kitaplar okuyarak. Doğduğundan beri okuyorum zaten. Çocukların ne kadar bu yaşlarda kolay aldığını da görüyorum Ulaş'la birlikte. Tabii ki biliyordum ama birebir yaşayarak öğrenmek farklı bir şey. Çok kolay alıyor, hiç unutmuyor ve hani İngilizceyi başka bir şey gibi de görmüyor. Böyle bir İngilizce, Türkçe hani böyle karıştırarak bazen konuşmaya çalışıyor. Söyleyemese de konuşmaya çalışıyor. Çok ilginç yani. O yüzden çok mutluyum yani böyle bir çaba içine girdik ama herhalde şey yapacak, bir şeyler öğrenecek.
Hocalarımızdan sesli sessiz mesaj yoluyla katılmak isteyenler varsa da arkadaşlar, yani bu platformu lütfen kullanabiliriz, kullanın lütfen. Teknik ekip A takım arkadaşlarımız da o yönde bir talepler geliyorsa hocalarımızdan, ben çünkü hepsini göremiyorum şu anda. YouTube'dan da sanırım bir mesaj ve chat box akıyor. Arkadaşlarımız onları okurlarsa, ulaştırırlarsa hepsinin cevabını veremezsek bile bilmediğimizi söyleyelim.
Evet, tabii. Bu arada chatten eski öğrencilerimizden bir tanesi var, Nur Gökçen. Şimdi gördüm yorumunu. Merhaba Nur, eski öğrencilerimi görmek de çok güzel oldu. Evet, yani Young Learner konusu gerçekten yeni bir konu ve çok insanın da pek bilgi sahibi olmadığı bir konu. Çok hani önü açık bir konu aslında. Bilmiyorum, sizlerin en zorlandığınız şeyler nelerdir Young Learner'larla ilgili? Belki onları konuşabiliriz. Türkiye'deki sorunlar nelerdir? Genel
Hocam,
öğretimiyle
İsmail
ilgili.
Duman'ın bir sorusu var aşağıda.
Evet. What do you think about grading young learners test? Should we do it at all? Çok güzel bir soru. Aslında ona zaman kalmadı. Biraz anlatacaktım. Yani skor vermeden skor vermeden değerlendirme, assessment da yapılabilir. Zaten bu birçok okulda yapılmaya başlandı. Özellikle portfolyolar çok oldu son zamanlarda. Popüler oldu. Teşekkür ederim. Mesela şeyler yapıyorlardı. Sene sonunda velileri davet edip sadece çocuğu, velileri ve öğretmeni bir arada topladıkları bir odada çocuk İngilizce bir şeyler anlatıyor. Dönem boyu neler yaptıklarını. Mesela ben bunu çok olumlu bir yaklaşım olarak buluyorum. Öğrenciyi sınav stresinden kurtarıyor. Bir motivasyon sağlıyor. Değerlendirmeden öte İngilizceye olan ilgisini artırıyor ve bir motivasyon sağlıyor. O yüzden notlandırma yerine böyle informal assessment'ların daha sık yapılması gerektiğini düşünüyorum doğrusu ben. O yüzden yani sorunuza cevabım yani notlama, test değil de test, bizim anladığımız anlamda testler değil de daha informal şeyler yaptırabiliriz. Yani grup çalışmaları, oyunlar, işte çizmeler, boyamalar gibi o şekilde ilerlemek daha doğru geliyor bana.
Hocam biraz yukarıda Talip diye bir öğrencimizin sorusu kaldı. İsterseniz bir
Hocam ondan önce bir şey hatırlatma yapayım. Arkadaşlar, chat box'larda katılım sertifikası için link var. Linke tıkladığınız zaman ve gerekli bilgileri doldurduğunuz zaman otomatik olarak e-mail adresinize katılım belgesi gelecektir. Hem YouTube'dan ve diğer Zoom'dan seminerimizi takip eden arkadaşlar için bu linki tıklamaları yeterli olacak. Teşekkür ederim. Evet, öbür soruyu alalım.
Evet, Talip'in sorusunu gördüm şu anda. Evet, öğrencilerin hayatını yakından tanımak öğretmenler için demiş iyi bir şey olur. Çok hızlı okuyorum. Evet. Evet, yani hocanın öğrenciyi tanıması dil öğretme anlamında şey olabilir mi? Faydalı olabilir mi? Bence faydalı olabilir. Çünkü o zaman kendi hayatından ve öğrencinin hayatından daha çok şey katabilir ve daha personalize olabilir. Çünkü bence yabancı dil öğretirken en eksik olan şey öğrencinin niye öğrendiğinin, yani onun ne işine yarayacağını bilmemesi ve niye öğrendiğinin farkında olmaması. Yani ona ihtiyaç duymaması. O anlamda bir ihtiyaç duyması sağlanabilir öğrencinin. Yani young learner'ların özellikle niye biz bunu öğreniyoruz? Onu bilmeleri lazım. Onu vermek anlamında öğrencinin hayatına yakın olmaları çok iyi olur. Kesinlikle katılıyorum. Hatta öğretmenin kendi hayatından bir şeyler katması da çok iyi olur. Zaten hemen hemen bütün İngilizce öğretmenleri bunu yapar herhalde. Kendi aile. Çünkü öğrenciler için hocalarıyla ilgili bir şey duymak her zaman ilginçtir. Tahmin ediyorum. O yüzden bu da kullanılıyordur diye düşünüyorum.
Hocam YouTube'dan Zeynep Ellaç isimli bir katılımcımızın sorusu var.
Evet. Bilmiyorum.
Buraya aktardık. İsterseniz bakın, isterseniz ben okuyayım. Nasıl?
Okuyabilirsin.
Hangisi? Siz okuyun, ben
Hocam iyi akşamlar. Şu an gündemde Web2 araçları oldukça gündemde. Siz Assessing Young Learners konusuyla bağlantısı hakkında neler düşünüyorsunuz? Bu Web2 araçlarından bahsediyor hocam.
Yani şimdi tabii yani Web2 araçları dediğimiz bu değerlendirme amaçlı kullanılan oyun o şeylerin tam olarak neyi kastettiniz?
Hemen soralım hocam. Ben de.
Hocam diğer bağlantılı bir soru var. Güzel bir soru. Büşra hocamız, arkadaşımız sormuş. Hocam online süreç şu an çok sıkıntılı. Young learners yerlerinde ekrana odaklı. Bunun içinde keşke öğretmenlerimiz daha bilinçli olsak diye bir sorudan ziyade bir yorum yapmış.
Evet, yani online şu anda zaten şu an öyle bir değişik bir zaman ki yani o kadar farklı bir dönemden geçiyoruz ki bütün bu söylediklerimiz yeri geliyor bazen irrelevant oluyor. Çünkü şu anda öyle yapılmıyor teaching yani. Evet, Kahoot, Menti, Cram Quiz ve anladım, evet, Kahoot gibi şeyler yani biraz oyun tarzı. Yani tabii ki teknoloji hayatımıza girdikçe bunların kullanılması da gerekir. Kahoot'u mesela ben staja giderken okullarda gördüm, öğrenciler çok seviyor. Mutlaka kullanılması lazım. Ama her zaman için tabii ki işte Quizlet, evet, Kahoot gibi, Menti, onları evet biliyorum. Mutlaka kullanılması lazım. Yani bu dönem doğan çocuklar zaten çok alışkın bu tip şeylere. Onlarla desteklenmesi güzel olur. Neden olmasın? Yani tabii ki çok iyi olur. Ama benim tam araştırma alanım ve bildiğim bir alan değil. O yüzden de daha fazla bir şey söyleyemeyeceğim. Çünkü young learner'larla bu teknoloji kullanımı üzerine çok da fazla bir bilgim yok doğrusu.
Sibel Hocam iyi akşamlar.
İyi
Naci
akşamlar.
Hocam iyi akşamlar. Ben Kars'tan Kafkas Üniversitesi'nden Selçuk.
Selçuk Hocam merhabalar.
Merhaba hocam.
Sibel Hocam, Selçuk Hocam'la geçen pazartesi günü çok güzel bir misafirimizdi burada.
Ne güzel.
Çok güzel bir sunum yaptı. Hocam hoş geldin. Buyur hocam.
Hocam hoş bulduk. Öncelikle çok teşekkür ediyorum. Yani Kars'tan İstanbul'a bir hat çekmiş oluruz bu şekilde.
Evet.
Çok güzel. Ben hocam bir veli olarak yani daha ziyade bir öğretmen olarak ya da hoca olarak değil de bir gözlemlerimi paylaşmak istiyorum. Benim çocuğum 9 yaşında Ertuğrul.
Evet.
Kendisi bilingual. Burada özel okula gönderiyoruz ama çok ciddi sıkıntılar yaşıyoruz. Mesela bunlardan birkaçını söyleyeyim. Öğretmeni what is your name demiş ondan sonra. O da I am Ertuğrul demiş. I am Ertuğrul dememen lazım. My name demen lazım demen gerekiyor demiş. O da diyor ki yorum yapıyor Ertuğrul. Diyor ki baba diyor zaten bana soruyor. Ben niye my diyeyim ki diyor. Zaten benim adım diyor. Birincisi bu. İkincisi teste giriyorlar. Bazen yanlış yapıyor testlerde. Yani İngilizcesi iyi olmasına rağmen. Ona da şöyle kızıyor. Diyor ki baba diyor yukarıda soru Türkçe aşağıda cevap İngilizce. Bu nasıl oluyor diyor. İkincisi de bu. Bu şekilde. Yani aşağıdakilerden hangisi Apple'ın karşılığıdır diyor mesela. Baba diyor niye diyor soru Türkçe diyor. Mesela bu şekilde.
Soru Türkçe mi?
Tabii. Yani aşağıdakilerden hangisi Apple'ın karşılığıdır? Orada elmayı seçmelerini istiyorlar mesela.
Evet,
Bu şekilde.
anladım.
Yani çok zorlanıyoruz. Ben kendim şöyle bir metot buldum. Çünkü bu sistemle savaşaraktan kazanabileceğimizi düşünmüyorum açıkçası. Bazen ona diyorum ki işte C seçeneği varsa oğlum hadi sen de aşağı bir D seçeneği, E seçeneği yazıyorum. Ürettiriyorum ona. Science fiction'ı çok seviyor. Bol bol science fiction okuyoruz. Ama dediğim gibi kendini çok kötü hissediyor. Hatta şöyle bir süreç başladı. Normal bilingual yani bir aydan itibaren orada toplamda 8 yıl yaşadı. Artık aksanını onlarınkine uydurmaya başladı. Yani burada konuşulan şeye. Çünkü o şekilde konuştuğu zaman çok kötü hissediyor.
Ay, çok iyi anlıyorum o kadar
Çok
yani şimdi
çaresiz yani. Okula gittim,
evet.
Konuştum. Okul, hocam çocuğunuzun İngilizcesi çok iyi maşallah falan dedi. O şekilde karşılandı. Ben hani biraz öğretmenlerle hani arkadaş olup biraz daha böyle acaba nasıl düzeltebiliriz? Hatta dedim üniversiteden çağırabilirsiniz, seminerler düzenleyebiliriz, başka yerlerden hocalar bulabiliriz. Bunlara da kapalılar. Eğitimimiz gayet iyi diyorlar yani ulusal national average'in gayet üstündeyiz diyorlar testlerde. Çaresiz hocam. Bu bir observation olarak paylaşmak istedim.
Evet, çok teşekkürler. Yani işte öğrenciye özel bir individualized bir şey olmadığı için dediğiniz gibi yani çocuğun...
Yani ben olsam şöyle yapardım. Ben dilci değilim, dil eğitimcisi değilim, edebiyatçıyım ama ben olsam Ertuğrul'u çok iyi kullanırdım. Kullanmanın yollarına bakardım.
Tabii kesinlikle. Katmak değil mi? Onu arkadaşlarına daha
Katmak
olması
ve
için.
bu anlamda hani biraz daha önce yapıp hani yapıp daha ziyade ondan istifade yoluna giderdim. Yani benim şeyim o olurdu.
Ve o dediğinizi çocuklar yapıyor gerçekten. Çünkü native olunca arkadaşları onların İngilizcesini garipsiyor. Belki dalga geçiyor.
Evet şu an
Onlar da
öyle.
benzetmeye çalışıyorlar normal Türkçe aksanına. Çok ilginç bir durum gerçekten.
Evet hocam.
Selçuk Hocam, bir soru
Buyurun
sorabilir
hocam.
miyim?
Buyurun hocam.
Bahsettiğin eşleştirme sorusu özellikle sizin çocuğa mı soruldu yoksa sınıfa mı soruldu hocam?
Hocam sınıfta yani genelde test yapıyorlar. Test üzerinden öğreniliyor
Hemen
İngilizce.
hocam ben şöyle bir vurgu yapayım. Yani normalde hani instruction'ların hani hepimizin bildiği comprehensible olması lazım. O anlamda çocukları tabii sen haklı olarak bilingual açıdan bakıyorsun ama çocukların ayrıyeten sorunun kendisinden yani instruction'ın da kendisinden test edilmemesi gerekir. O anlamda belki hani Türkçe olursa herkes en azından çocuktan istenen şeyin ne olduğunu çocuğun bilmesi gerekir. Yani testimde de böyle bir özellik vardı. Belki oradaki hocamız böyle bir yol seçmiş olabilir. Tabii sizin çocuğunuz bilingual olması biraz farklılık arz ediyor ama sorunun Türkçe olması, comprehensible olması ve ne istendiğini herkes tarafından net olarak anlaşılması aslında bence biraz anlamlı diye düşünüyorum.
Teşekkürler Naci Hocam. Bu açıdan hiç bakmamıştım. Veli olunca durum tamamen farklı oluyor. Çok
Rica
teşekkür
ederim.
ederim hocam. Çok
İşte
sağ olun.
hocam aslında Naci Hocam'ın yani herhangi bir beceriyi test ederken diğer başka bir becerinin kullanılmasını en aza indirmek lazım. O yüzden o soruyu belki başka bir şekilde oluşturmak lazım. Türkçe kullanmak zorunda kalmamak için daha anlaşılır hale getirmek lazım belki. Bir resim yardımıyla da başka bir şekilde. Yani biraz düşünülmesi lazım üzerinde.
Evet hocam. Çok teşekkür ederim hocam.
Rica ederim.
Teknik ekibimiz A takımı arkadaşlar başka soru katkı varsa
Hocam teşekkürler yağıyor genelde YouTube üzerinden. Hocamıza teşekkür ediyor arkadaşlar.
Evet. Çok teşekkürler. Herkese katılımınız için çok teşekkürler. Yazdıklarınız için. Benim için çok keyifli bir sunum oldu.
evet.
Evet.
Sibel Hocam daha önce konuşmuştuk hatta erkenden başlayalım demiştik çünkü 5 yaşında size ihtiyacı olan evde bir çocuğunuz var.
Farklılık var, evet.
Evet bir close up yapalım dedim.
Burada çok pardon bir soru sormak isteyen katılımcımız var.
Merhaba hocam.
Merhaba.
Hocam Raşide ben. Raşide Dağ Akbaş.
Oo, Raşit Hocam. Buyur Raşit Hocam.
Ben de böyle çocuklar evde olunca ancak YouTube'dan izleyebiliyorum. Soru soracağım için Zoom'a bağlı. Daha şimdi. Çünkü ancak sakin bir ortam bulabiliyorum. Şimdi ben de Selçuk Hocam gibi kendi deneyimlerimden ama ancak bir eğitimci olarak değil de bir veli olarak bir deneyimimden bahsetmek istiyorum. Benim de oğlum 3. sınıf öğrencisi şu anda. Geçen sene 2. sınıf öğrencisiydi ve ilk defa İngilizce ile tanıştı. İngilizce'de bir sınavla tanıştı ama şöyle oldu. Siz de hocam burada sunumda bahsettiğiniz gibi less obvious şekilde hani öğrencilerin çok fazla böyle çok explicit yolda değil daha less obvious şekilde sınava girmeleri gerektiğini siz vurguladınız. Ben de buna katılıyorum. Ancak bunda da bir denge olması gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Şöyle ki, şimdi benim oğlum biraz böyle sakin, birazcık böyle sakin, düşüne hareket eden, böyle çok benim gibi sabırsız olmayan bir çocuk. Onun için sınıftayken öğretmenleri onlara sınav kağıtları vermiş. Belli ki 4 tane test kağıdı bu. Ve hadi bunları yapın denmiş ve sınav süresi verilmemiş açıkçası. Sonrasında anne geldi eve, bana bahsediyor ama ben tabii sınav olduğunu anladım bunun. Anne ama devam edeceğim dedi. Daha işte bir iki adımı yapmadım, tamamlayamadım dedi. Ama gelecek hafta öğretmen bize devam ettirecek dedi. Devam edeceğim ben de, tamamlayacağım dedi. Tamam peki dedim. Sonraki hafta geldi. Sonraki hafta bu aktivite ortadan kalkmış. Task ya da işte sınav falan yok. Tamamen farklı bir konuyla devam ediliyor. Tabii burada benim şimdi bir veli olarak yani çocuğuma çok fazla bir şey söyleyemedim ama üzüldüm. Çünkü şöyle üzüldüm. Dolayısıyla o yapamadığı kısmı olunca öğretmenimiz daha devam etmedi. Ne yaptınız diye sordum tabii ben sonrasında. Devam etmedi dedi. Sonrasında da karşılaştığı not tabii ki düşük. Ve ilk deneyimde tabii ki böyle bir sayfa eksik yapılınca notlar düşük geldi. Böyle olunca ben üzüldüm. Şunu da düşündüm. 2. sınıfta bir test multiple choice'la yola çıkılabilir mi? Sonrasında 4 sayfalık, 3-4 sayfalık bir testle bunu yapmak mümkün mü? Ve bunu less obvious şekilde yapacağız derken bu sefer de öğrenciye bir başarısızlık duygusu kazandırıyoruz aslında. Çünkü bunu yaşadıktan sonra ilk deneyiminde olumsuz bir şeyle başlamış oluyor. Neden bunu yaşamış olmasından daha çok mutsuz oldum aslında. Yoksa aldığı nottan falan değil. Bununla ilgili ne düşünüyorsunuz? Bunu öğrenmek istedim ve ben açıkçası 2. sınıfta bir test uygulanmaması gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Zaten müfredatta da olmadığını biliyorum sınav. Yani İngilizce dersine sınav yöntemiyle bir değerlendirme yapılmadığını biliyorum.
Evet.
Müfredatta olmadığını düşünüyorum ama bu şekilde bir deneyimim var.
Evet Raşit Hocam, ben de katılıyorum. Yani öğrencilerin bir formal bir şekilde yapılması, test edilmesi, işte multiple choice'lerle falan gerçekten öğrenciyi çok strese sokuyor ve olumsuz bir attitude oluşturmalarına neden oluyor dile karşı, dil öğrenmeye karşı. O yüzden katılıyorum. Yani o kadar formal bir şey yapılmasına o seviyede gerek yok diye düşünüyorum. Yapılacaksa bile daha oyun gibi, aktivite gibi daha informal şeyler yapılması gerekir. Yani işte TPR yazan arkadaşlarımız var. Evet, kesinlikle katılıyorum. Çünkü bu şekilde
ya da en azından hocam bir şekilde öğrenci belki de hani çocuk bunun sınav olduğunun birazcık daha farkında olsaydı belki de o zaman daha iyi yönetip diğerini de tamamlayıp daha iyi, olumlu bir deneyim yaşamış olacaktı ve sonrasında bunu daha güzel hatırlayacaktı.
Evet.
Ama burada hani bir denge de olması gerekiyor o bakımdan, hani less obvious mi yoksa birazcık hani orada bir dengenin iyi bir şekilde sağlanması gerektiğini düşünüyorum
yani
açıkçası.
Bu sınavdan korkutmayalım derken bu sefer de hani hiç öğrencinin ciddiye almayacakları bir hale dönüştürmeyelim diyorsunuz. Evet, doğru.
Evet, çünkü sonrasında devam edeceklerini düşünüp yarı yolda kalınca bu sefer çocukta hem başarısızlık hem de bir hayal kırıklığı oluyor. Yani şimdi hani çünkü onun elinde yapabileceği bir şey yok. Bununla ilgili bir de şöyle bir şey duydum. Yani öğretmenler genelde bu şekilde bir değerlendirmeye accountability konusundan dolayı giriyorlarmış. Şöyle ki velilere en azından öğrenciniz sınavdan şu notu aldım deyip daha net bir veri ortaya koymaya çalışıyorlarmış. Şimdi bu şekilde bir yani bu şekilde bir savunmaya ihtiyaç duymaları da açıkçası üzücü. Yani bu da birazcık velilerin tabii yaklaşımından kaynaklanıyor. Bu şekilde hocam. Teşekkürler bütün paylaştığınız güzel bilgiler için.
Çok sağ olun.
Teşekkür ediyorum.
Çok sağ olun.
Dersin bitti mi?
Bitiyor anneciğim. Başka soru var mıydı acaba?
Naci Hocam sesiniz gelmiyor hocam.
Pardon. Aslında Sibel Hocam sorusunun içinde güzel bir cümle kullandı. Yani mümkün olunca da sınav formatından uzaklaşılması şeklinde. Aslında burada belki özellikle ilköğretimdeki öğretmenlerimizin hatası yanlışı demeyelim de biraz da bu National Curriculum'un zorlamasıyla
Evet.
bir yanlış yöne gidiyoruz bazen. Şimdi young learners'lar konusunda en çok kullandığımız kelime fun entertainment diyoruz. Yani hem teknik hem teorik hem de pratik olarak. Yani fun ve entertainment'sa yani insanları bundan test etmek veya test edilmesi, sınav edilmesi çok bir şey, hoş bir şey değil. Daha doğrusu öğrencilere bunun sınav gibi yani eğlenceden test edilmesi, oyundan. Şimdi hocam anlattığı şeyler çok güzel bilgiler verdi, pratik bilgiler verdi. Hep oyunlar verdi. Ama hani oyunlardan test edilmesi, entertainment'tan test edilmesi çok hoş bir şey değil. Bence burada hani test edilmek yerine hani how to appreciate dediğimiz yani ben seni nasıl takdir ederim boyutuna gelirse belki buradaki hani öğretmenlik felsefesi yaklaşımımız böyle klasik geleneksel öğretmenden ziyade işte az önce hocamın da bahsettiği gibi bireysel farklılıkları da ve işin de felsefesini de kavrayıp daha bütüncül bir yaklaşımla böyle klasik bir not veren hoca yaklaşımına değil de yani takdir eden, değer veren, önem veren, katılan bir yaklaşımla yaklaşırsak, bir tutumla, pozisyonla bu sınav yani girdabından kendimizi kurtarmış oluruz. Gerçekten Hiraş Hocam dediği gibi çocuğunu mesela kaybetmiş olabilir sırf bir sınav endişesinden dolayı. Hele bunu bu yaşlarda çocuğa bu sınav korkusunu vermek ondan sonra son derece yabancı dile karşı olumsuz bir tutum geliştirmesine sebep verebiliyor. Başka hocalarımız
Hocam
varsa...
sesim geliyorsa Turgay Han.
Turgay Hocam Ordu Üniversitesi İngiliz Edebiyatı bölüm başkanımız. Turgay Hocam buyur sizi görmek, duymak. Görmesek
Merhabalar, ben takip ediyordum YouTube'dan. Ben de ilk başta girdim. Dedim hocam dinledim, sağ olsunlar. Gayet bilgilendik. Şu noktada ben bir contribution yapmak isterim. Şimdi tabii sınıf içi değerlendirme, işte formative, summative assessment vesaire. Ama burada bir de ailelerin de bakış açısında değerlendirmemiz gerekiyor. Yani özellikle milli eğitimde işte ya da diğer okullar aileler şunu istiyor. Yani öğrencinin testten aldığı başarıyı daha çok ön plana getiriyorlar. Ama test her zaman öğrencinin production'ı ölçemeyebiliyor. Hele ki şu an işte multiple choice'de yapılan sınavlar öğrencinin normalde işte yazma, konuşma becerisini ölçen sınavlar değil. Ama aile ne istiyor? Velilerin istediği şey testten yüksek alması. Eğer testten öğrenci yüksek alabiliyorsa işte ilk ortaokul döneminde düşünenler o öğrenci başarılı sayılıyor. Burada bir clash var aslında. Hani öğretmenlerin beklentisi, öğretmenler ne kadar performansı dayalı sınav yapmak istese de ya da ölçme yapmak istese de ama öğrencinin başarısını sertifikalandıran şey ya da notlandıran şey çoktan seçmeli sınavlar. Burada bir clash oluyor. Yani biz teoride aslında söylediklerimiz çok makul ama pratiğe dönüştürdüğümüzde istediğimiz sonucu alamayabiliyoruz. Bunu söylemek istedim ben. Bu katkıyı yapmak istedim. Hocamın da görüşlerini varsa dinlemek isterim.
Hocam çok teşekkür ediyorum. Çok yerinde ve çok güzel bir konuya temas ettiğin aile faktörü. Sonuçta öğrenci, ebeveyn, aile bu süreçte önemli bir etken ve faktör. Teşekkür ediyorum.
Takip ediyorlar hocam aileler. Hani benim gördüğüm kadarıyla aileler gerçekten çocukların aldığı puanları son 10 yılda daha fazla takip ediyor. Daha önce bu kadar ilgilenmiyorlardı. Ama şimdi gerçekten puanı çok dikkate alıyorlar. Evet.
Evet, bu söylediğiniz konu çok doğru. Yani aileler bazen hatta fazla şey yapıyorlar. Yani hep böyle bir şeyin dokümente edilmesini istiyorlar. Hep böyle düzen görmek istiyorlar. Yani çok ilginç. Biraz daha açık, yani her şeyin kağıt üstünde de sınavla olmayabileceğini, okulda başka şeyler yapılabileceğini ilginç yani. O anlamda velilerimiz çok klasik düşünüyorlar hala. Yani ödevler olacak, sınavlar olacak. Onu illa görecekler, notlar alınacak. Sanki öyle olmayınca öğrenme gerçekleşmiyormuş. Ama bu bir zihniyet yani. Öyle bir zihniyet var. Onu aşmak çok zor. O alanda farklı şeyler yapmak isteyen öğretmenler de tepkiyle karşılanıyor. Öğrenciler bile bazen bu derste hiçbir şey yapmıyoruz derler ya, hep böyle bir şey öğreniyormuşuz gibi gelmiyor derler. Hani böyle çok structured bir şeyler yapılması gerekirmiş gibi düşünülür hep. Öyle bir zihniyet var, doğru yani. Onu değiştirmek biraz zor. Haklısınız.
Evet, teşekkür ederim hocam.
Sağlık.
Başka var mı arkadaşlar? Zehra, Özlem.
Hocam
herhalde.
şimdilik evet başka sorumuz yok.
Tamam.
Teşekkürler.
Çok teşekkürler. Sağ
Evet,
olun.
evet. Biz bu delikanlıdan tekrar hocam özür diliyoruz bu
Yok,
delikanlıdan.
estağfurullah, estağfurullah.
Hakkı olan zamanı bu akşam kendisinden aldık. Sibel hocam gerçekten tekrar çok çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Çok
Bizim
sağ olun.
değerli bilgileri paylaştınız. Bana da çok yardımcı oldunuz. Yani Young dersinde artık epey yükümü aldınız. Yani bir dönemden sonra bayağı bir
Estağfurullah, çok memnun oldum öyle bir katkım olabildiyse.
çok ciddi katkı yaptınız. Çok güzel, çok sistematik, çok kapsamlı konuları çok güzel, akıcı bir şekilde ve de akılda kalıcı bir şekilde bize özetlediniz. Her şey için tüm emeklerinize teşekkür ediyorum. İnşallah pandemi sürecinden sonra da sizleri yeşilin
Her
ve
zaman.
mavinin buluştuğu Karadeniz'de ağırlamaktan da çok
Çok
mutlu olacağım.
isteriz. Çok sağ olun.
Evet.
İyi geceler bütün katılımcılara, tekrar sevgiler ve selamlar.
Teşekkür ediyorum hocam.
Hocam,
Sağ olun. Var olun.
belki kapanış sorusu olarak alabilir miyiz bilmiyorum. Şimdi
Ya istersek almayalım. Hocamızı şey yapmayalım. Ben bu arada tüm katılımcılara özellikle Erzurum Atatürk Üniversitesi, Kafkas Üniversitesi'ne, özellikle Atatürk Üniversitesi'ne, Ardahan Üniversitesi'ne, Samsun, Artvin Üniversitesi'ne, Ordu Üniversitesi'ne, Giresun ve Trabzon KTÜ'ye ve diğer üniversitelerimize katılan öğrencilerimize, meslektaşlarımıza, mezunlarımıza ve son sınıf öğrencilerimize ve bölümdeki değerli hocalarımıza çok çok teşekkür ediyorum ve bu seminerler serisini gerçekleştirmede tüm teknik altyapıyı oluşturan Zehra olsun, Özlem olsun, Özlem hocam olsun, Tuncel hocam olsun, hepsine çok çok teşekkür ediyorum. Herkese kucak dolusu selamlar. İnşallah Cuma günü yine Young Learners'larla ilgili Pamukkale Üniversitesi'nden Turan hocamın bir katılım olacak. Orada hepinizi müsait olan arkadaşlarla buluşmak dileğiyle, ümidiyle herkese kucak dolusu selamlar ve Allah rahatlık versin diyorum herkese.
İyi geceler,
İyi
hoşça kalın.
geceler.
Sağ olun.